I am Maria Tusidibe and this is QTV News, coming to you live from our studios on Caraba Avenue. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main local and sports news headlines. 27 senior police officers have completed training on election security at the police training school in Banjulinding. Still on police training, 32 officers of the Police Intervention Unit graduated on Thursday after a 3-week training course. In a unanimous decision, the ECOWAS Council of Ministers has, for the first time, elected a Gambian to be its commission's president for a 4-year term beginning next year. The Gambia Immigration Department on Friday organized an award ceremony for former Directors General and Commissioners of the Immigration Department in recognition of their services to the nation. In sports news, Gambia's Scorpions suffer a humiliating defeat at the hands of Morocco's team of home-based players. Those were our main headlines. Now the news in detail. Two Turkish police instructors from the Turkish police team in the Gambia on Friday completed a 1-week training for 27 senior police officers on election security at the police training school in Banjulinding. Omar Pijalo attended the closing, and this is his report.
According to officials, the training course on election security was part of a series organized by the Turkish police since 2018. The training seeks to prepare the Gambia police in several areas, including crowd control and VIP protection, ahead of the December 4th presidential election and the organization of Islamic Cooperation Summit due to be held in the Gambia next year. Deputizing for the Inspector General of Police, the Assistant Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Ba, said Turkey has been helping the country's security forces in capacity building for over 2 decades now. AIG Ba said training senior police officers in command position on election security ahead of the election is timely and apt.
And then the purpose of doing that is to prepare you adequately, to prepare you enough to handle our internal security, most particularly the election. The security landscape or the electoral landscape has changed. Why? It's because the number of parties that have registered this year compared to previous elections, you all know, is different. So assuming that all these parties present candidates, presidential candidates, how are we going to manage the security of all these presidential candidates when they are campaigning? How are we going to manage the ballot box during polling day? How are we going to manage the potential violence that may emanate or erupt as a result of the elections? We pray it doesn't happen. But when you are planning, you have to pray. You have to plan for the unexpected.
At the ceremony, the Deputy CEO of the OIC Gambia Secretariat, Issa Bokarsi, said the training was the fruit of a bilateral relations between Turkey and the Gambia, adding that election security in a democratic society is a very difficult task, especially in our young democracy.
If this was to be based on funds, on budget, this would have been very, very expensive, because Turkey, I can tell you, is one of the biggest armies and the police in the world. When it comes to artificial intelligence, they are number 3, United States, Turkey, and Malaysia in the forces. So the reason why I'm saying that is for you to know that when you are being trained in Turkey, you are not wasting your time, because you are at international standard. Right now, the one coordinating the United Nations peacekeeping forces is a Turkish.
The Deputy Commissioner of Police, Ken Mendy, delivered the word of thanks on behalf of the participants.
When you are planning for a month, you plant trees. When you are planning for a decade, you plant rice. When you are planning for a lifetime, you educate people. And this cannot go in the absence of security. I urge you to share the knowledge gained in this August training to fellow officers who did not have the opportunity to attend this important training.
The 27 senior police officers who undertook the training were chosen from across the country and are expected to utilize and share with colleagues the knowledge and skills gained during the training. Participants were awarded certificates by the Turkish trainers, who praised the trainees for making the week-long training very interactive and fruitful. Turkey and the Gambia have long-standing security cooperation dating back decades, and the country has been benefiting from several security training courses. Reporting for QTV News, I am Omar P. Jallo.
32 officers of the Police Intervention Unit on Thursday graduated after a 3 weeks training at a ceremony held at the PIU grounds. Here's Omar P. Jallo's report of the graduation ceremony.
The men and women in uniform graduated at this ceremony at the PIU grounds on Thursday, following completion of 3 weeks of intensive training in public order management, conducted and funded by the German Police Support Team in the Gambia. The training exposed officers to best practice in public order management. Modules including basic tactics, leadership and command, election security, democratic rights, as well as intelligence gathering were covered during the sessions. Adelaide Basenge, the Commissioner of Police PIU, thanked the German Police Support Team and encouraged the graduates to put into good use the knowledge and skills acquired. Landing Bojang, the Assistant Inspector General of Police, deputizing for the Inspector General of Police, expressed sincere appreciation and gratitude to the German Police Support Team and the government of Germany for their continuous support and partnership. He challenged the officers to make good use of the opportunity and translate the knowledge gathered into efficient service delivery.
The skills and the knowledge gained from this training will surely enhance our duties and functions professionally and be able to provide security during election when it's needed.
The training coordinator of GPST, Mr. Stephen Haas, commended the confidence and courage of the police officers during the capacity building training to better serve the people of the Gambia and gave a brief background of the training.
After these 3 weeks, we are able to graduate 32 officers from all over the country today. 27 male and 5 female successfully reached the given guidelines after a large number of theoretical lectures, tactical and practical work with the body protection and the physical training.
Madam Gabrielle Bonner, the Charge d'Affaires of the Federal Republic of Germany, underscores the importance of the training, saying the training will equip the officers to serve the rule of law, uphold human rights and freedom of assembly, which are a symbol of democratic society.
This training equips you with the necessary skills to fulfill your task as police officer, and this task is not to please the German support team or any other German thing, but to better serve your people, the people of Gambia, and to use the best practices in public order management that were presented during the training, to use them and to adapt them, if necessary, to the real-life situations you will all face.
Sub-Inspector Yusfa Sedi gave the vote of thanks on behalf of the participants.
We believe the knowledge gained will go a long way in complementing the execution of our noble duties as a law enforcement officers on public order management. Be the rest also, the skills gained in the training will be put into good use and share with the colleagues that are not privileged to attend this training.
Marking the end of the training on public order management and other related issues, the German Police Support Team also officially handed over equipment worth over $8 million to the personnel of the Police Intervention Unit at the ceremony, which was attended by development partners. Reporting for QTV News, I am Omar P. Jallo.
Congratulations to the graduates. In a unanimous decision, the ECOWAS Council of Ministers has for the first time elected a Gambian to be its Commission's president for a 4-year term beginning next year. The Gambian diplomat, Dr. Omar A. Toure, was elected in the just concluded extraordinary session of ECOWAS Council on Institutional Reform in the Ghanaian capital, Accra. Momodu Laminchoy reports.
Dr. Omar A. Toure, a Gambian diplomat, has registered a historic accolade for the country by becoming the first to be elected to the highest position of the executive arm of the West Africa Regional Bloc. He will replace Ivorian Jean-Claude Cassibrou, who assumed the rotational position in March 2018. Dr. Toure will be the 6th person to hold the position since 2007, following its transformation to a commission. The ECOWAS Commission is the main engine for all ECOWAS programs, projects and activities. Dr. Toure will be at the helm of the Commission for a non-renewable period of 4 years from 2022 to 2026. On assuming his mandate, he will be assisted by a Vice President and 13 commissioners. In reaction to the historic decision of the Commission on his Facebook and Twitter handles, President Barrow expressed delight and calling it a sign of Gambia's recognition within the sub-region. The President further noted that the Gambia had gained more respect among its peers in the sub-region since he came to power in 2017. In 2016, there was a similar decision when a Gambian former AFPRC junta member, Edward Singate, was appointed as the Vice President of the ECOWAS Commission, whose mandate ended in 2018. The 56-year-old Dr. Omar Toure, the President-elect of the ECOWAS Commission, is a former Gambian ambassador to Ethiopia, permanent representative to the United Nations from 2007 to 2008, and was in the same year appointed a Minister of Foreign Affairs for 1 year. With a vast experience in the diplomatic field under his belt, Dr. Toure made a history for becoming the first Secretary of the Gambian Embassy to Belgium and permanent mission to the European Union and the World Trade Organization later in 1995. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
We will now go for a commercial break. When we return, we will have some more local and sports news stories.
Sign Language Interpretation Service is proudly supported by the UNDP Accelerator Lab.
The best product in town is back. QCell's MiFi router. Get the best MiFi in the country for just $2,800 and connect up to 15 users with 4G internet speeds and a long-lasting battery life. So rush now to any of our customer care locations and get the best for less while stocks last. For more info, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Senior Boss, the Gambia's quality network. We innovate, others follow. Looking for the fastest and easiest way to receive money transfers from abroad? Well, QMoney and RIA just made it happen. Now you can receive international money transfer from RIA directly into your QMoney account with no additional cost. Once you receive an SMS alert about your transfer, walk into any QMoney agent across the country to receive your payment for free or use the money immediately to buy credit, QPower and other QMoney services. It's fast, safe and convenient. For more info, call customer care on 133. QMoney, Sinu Calpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. The Gambia Immigration Department on Friday organized an award ceremony for former Directors General and Commissioners of the Immigration Department in recognition of their services to the nation during their tenure. Yahya Jawo attended the event at the GID headquarters in Banjul, and he now reports.
This award ceremony is the first of its kind since the establishment of the Gambia Immigration Department in 1992 as a separate entity from the Gambia Police Force. The event was organized to remember and celebrate veteran immigration officers who have spent decades in the Immigration Department, maintaining peace and security and enhancing and monitoring the movement of people in and outside the country. In his opening remarks, Ibrahim Mboub, the Commissioner Admin of the Gambia Immigration Department, says the Gambia Immigration Department was established on August 22, 1990. He says prior to this, border management and migration control were under a special unit of the Gambia Police Force. The Immigration Department took charge 3 years later. This, he says, would not have been as successful as it has been without these now retired Directors General and Commissioners who are being celebrated today for paving the way.
Thanks to these patriots who committed themselves to national development. Thus far, today, the GID, under the stewardship of our competent, our visionary leader and brother, Sidi Mutari Toure, is set to honor some of these retired Director Generals and Commissioners for their outstanding contributions that brought us this far.
Sidi M. Toure, the Director General of the Gambia Immigration Department, under whose leadership this initiative come to be realized, underscored the importance of the award ceremony and thanked the Gambia government and the veteran GID officers for setting the pace and for the conducive environment created for both the young and senior officers of the Gambia Immigration Department.
The Immigration Day Medal Award ceremony is an event initiated and designed by my leadership, thanks to the benevolent support of Immigration Corps and senior management teams. The awards are separated in two categories: former Director Generals and retired commissioners that have not only achieved success during their tenure, but have contributed immensely and selflessly to the service of this country, the Gambia.
Asan Tangara, representing the Minister of Interior, Yankuba Sonko, says the Ministry of Interior through the Gambia government has registered significant achievements in the maintenance of law and order in the country and set high standards in the nation's security affairs. He particularly recognized the work and efforts of the Gambia Immigration Department for their services to the nation.
My ministry recognized the tremendous effort of the Gambia Immigration Department in the overall national security activities, notably in the most recent time, the fight against COVID-19 and Operation Zero Crime.
Momodu Nai Sise, a retired Director General of the Gambia Immigration Department, gave a vote of thanks on behalf of the GID veteran officers and had words of advice for the young officers.
But what I want to tell everybody in here, especially immigration officers, you have to unite. Without unity, you guys will have a problem.
At the end of the ceremony, the ex-service men and women who once served in the capacities of Directors General and Commissioners were presented with awards and medals in recognition of their endless and selfless service to the nation during their time in the country's security sector. Reporting for QTV News, I am Yahya Jao.
Now on to sports news. Gambia's senior football team has suffered its heaviest defeat for decades in the first of 3 friendlies scheduled for its pre-AFCON camp in Morocco. More in this report.
There was excitement and expectation when it was announced that as part of its pre-AFCON preparations, Gambia Scorpion would go for a training camp in Morocco. As part of the preparations, the team was scheduled to play 3 friendlies to give the technical staff an opportunity to see the team in match situations. The opponents are Morocco's home-based team, who earlier this year became the first country to successfully defend the African Nations Championship CHAN, Sierra Leone and South Sudan. The camp is arranged as a mini-tournament which will see the teams play each other once. Sierra Leone and South Sudan kicked off proceedings with a non-all draw on Thursday. Friday's Morocco versus Gambia could not be more different. Those of us who watched the CHAN tournament, which concluded in February, need no telling how good the Moroccans are. In the final in Yaoundé, Cameroon, they overcame Mali 2-0 and were deserved winners. However, good as they were, no one could have expected what happened when they took on Gambia's senior side. They simply swept them aside in a display of vibrant attacking football. They were 2-0 up at the end of the first half, which they dominated from the first whistle. However, for the Scorpions, things were to get even worse in the second half. 2 minutes after the action resumed, they had increased their lead with a third goal. They had scored 6 without reply before Gambia got on the score sheet. However, hopes of any face-saving scoreline were snuffed out when the Moroccans scored 7. Gambia's second goal in the second minute of the added-on time was not even a consolation. The only consolation is that the team cannot possibly play as badly again. Reporting for QTV News, I am Yahya Jao.
Before we end, here's a recap of the main headlines. 27 senior police officers have completed training on election security at the police training school in Banjulinding. Still on police training, 32 officers of the Police Intervention Unit graduated on Thursday after a 3-week training course. In a unanimous decision, the ECOWAS Council of Ministers has for the first time elected a Gambian to be its commission's president for a 4-year term beginning next year. The Gambia Immigration Department on Friday organized an award ceremony for former Directors General and Commissioners of the Immigration Department in recognition of their services to the nation. In sports news, Gambia's Scorpions suffer a humiliating defeat at the hands of Morocco's team of home-based players. That's all we have for you in this bulletin. Thank you for watching and have a nice weekend.